Hello. I'm trying a new camera angle today. Not sure how I feel about it just yet. But, how's everyone doing? It's today's what? Today's Tuesday. So, we'll get a little more natural light in here. It's Tuesday, which means we're cooking stuff. Not that I cook stuff every day, so I guess it doesn't really matter too much. But now you get to see it, so that's fun. Oh, hello. Hello. And we're gonna make, I like to try making new things on the stream. And part of the reason I like to do that is because it gives me the opportunity to make mistakes. And when I make mistakes, that means you guys get to see the mistakes I make, and then maybe you don't make them. So, the goal is cook. We fuck up, that's just how it goes. And if you guys get to take away something from it, then I did my job. And I try to talk about some of the science involved with cooking as we go. We're going to kind of repeat a topic today about leavening and what that is and what that means. Yes, I'm drinking, it's not White Claw, it's Bud Light Seltzer, because I can't find White Claw no matter how hard I try. And I've looked in a couple of different stores and I just can't find it. Law is law. That is, truer words have never been spoken. I think you're onto something. Nobody wants to be arrested and put in the gulag, so they gotta commandeer and take all the claws. But then I have none. Now I'm breaking the law. I can get arrested. Like it's a whole issue. So we're gonna make what's called bao, bao or Baozi or Baozi. I don't know how to say it. It's just Baozi, and I know bao is correct. At least my white person pronunciation of it is correct. And bao actually comes in a few different forms. You can have like a bun, like a sandwich that's stuffed like any other sandwich, or you could have it like a dumpling, where it's like a filled dumpling instead of being a sandwich. I mean, they're pretty similar. The sandwich version obviously is a little more likened to get toppings and maybe some pickled cabbage or like kimchi and stuff like that, and maybe scallions, and you can like dress it up and make it pretty fancy. Whereas the bao, the dumpling version, is a little more traditional and a little more modest, I would say. What's up, Mister? How you doing? So we're gonna do the more modest, humble version of this for two reasons. One, I figure it's a good starting point, and two, it's something that Lauren can take with her for lunch when she goes to work tomorrow, and she just grabs, eat, and she can take it, doing it for her. I am good. How's you? I'm doing well. We're getting ready to move, and Saturday's stream is probably going to be canceled. And by probably, I mean it is. So I have to make note of that. Saturday's stream will be canceled. Just because that's the only day we can really move all of our larger furniture. So, Kitchen, what's up? I'm not gonna lie, if this music keeps up the way it's going, and I'm drinking these Bud Light seltzer, I know it's Bud Light seltzer, but I'm gonna still call it White Claw. If this music continues as I drink more of this, I will be twerking. I can just feel it coming on. I can just feel it happening. I'm definitely feeling it. That's the problem. I'm feeling it too much. Like, I can just feel the cheeks start, like, they're like quivering, like they're ready to start clapping. Twerking and working, working and twerking. You know what they say, the wild women, the ripping and the tearing. The ripping and the tearing. Big Bobby Grimes liking the stream on Facebook. Thank you very much. Yeah, that is a video that is really pervasive in my one of my friend groups, where this guy was at an interview for what's called hedonism. Yeah, hedonism. Sorry, not heathen. Hedonism. A place called Hedonism 2, more specifically. I think it's in Jamaica. It's basically, think of almost like a swingers resort, sort of. It's like that. And they asked this guy, well, what do you like why do you keep coming to, what's up, Mammal? You about to make a steak for the first time? Nice, good luck. I'm sure it's going to come out great. But they asked this guy, like, why do you like to come to hedonism so much? Because he's been there like 15 times or something. And his response was, and we will never forget, the wild women, the ripping and the tearing, the whipping and the tearing. What's a swingers resort? Okay, do you know what swingers are? They're people who like to swap partners. So, I know Lauren just said hi to Bobby. I'm gonna try not to like lean in too much to read the comments, because it's one, difficult for me, and two, who wants to see my forehead up close. But yeah, swingers are people like, oh yeah, they're I don't want to say common, but they're not as rare as you think. Like you can easily find them. Like if you Google swingers resorts, you will find them. They're not. I only know this, one, from that Hedonism 2 video, and two, because I read an article talking about someone who went to one of these resorts and they wrote about their experience, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I'm not suggesting that I go or anyone else go. You do you. Whatever you're into. I don't give a shit, except for Lauren. I do care what she's into. Nobody else though. So why don't we move off of these, the hedonism discussion, and we'll get into some actual cooking. First thing we gotta do, I need 355 milliliters of lukewarm water. So we're gonna make this bao dough. While Kitchen Witch was doing her stream where she made the bao buns, I went and bought this bamboo basket, like the steamer, so that I can make bao. What's up, Rose? It has like 2 sets of trays, so I don't know if I can put like 4 in the bottom and then 4 on top, and if it'll all steam appropriately, or if they're all cooked thoroughly. So what I'm gonna do is this probably makes anywhere between 15 to 20 bao, depending on how big I cut them. So I'm gonna try it both ways. You know, the first set I'm just gonna put in the top rack, and the second set I'm gonna put in the bottom. We'll see how it goes. Madeline, it looks like a cat stepped on your keyboard, and I sent that. I hope you didn't just like face plant into your keypad. Like, I hope you're all right. that's worrying. But Rose, how are you doing today? We got some 355 milliliters worth of water. I don't know if you guys want to see me measuring water, but here we go. Yeah, they have a giant blow-up water slide at the camp. But Lauren, why don't you go ahead and tell them what happened to you today? I'll start it off. She fell in it. Yes, it's 255. Lauren fell in the pool. She fell down the slide. It was very funny. I had a good laugh when I heard about this. So we need to heat this, and we're going to heat it to about 95 or so degrees Fahrenheit, because that's what lukewarm is. I'm going to get a thermometer just so we can, monitor the temperature closely. I don't know what I'm doing, Lauren. Trying out balsamic pork with rice. You know, traditionally, bao is made with pork. But I had a whole chicken sitting in the fridge that I needed to break down. And that's exactly what I did. I broke it down before stream. And we're just going to use some chicken. So, I personally am not a fan of balsamic. And I know... Lauren, the fucking cakes! Well, stop letting me forget them. Damn it. Always. I always burn these cakes. That was actually fucking catastrophic to me. I was very upset. Okay, so we did let our water heat up a little too much. And we can't let it heat too much because we're using dry yeast. And if the water's too hot, well, you'll just kill the yeast. Yeah. I thought you said, I swear to God, right before I came on stream, one, I was eating cereal and I had stuff all in my beard. So Lauren's like, you need to go wash that out. So I did. And then she literally came to me, she's like, I'm not going to be on stream much today. And now here she is, drinking my fucking White Claws.
Ah, the cakes.
And I know, Rose, I know originally the plan was for me to do the Brussels sprouts that you had sent to me, well, the recipe you sent me today. But unfortunately, when I went to the grocery store, they didn't have any good-looking Brussels sprouts. They were pretty, they were pretty nasty looking, so I didn't want to get them, so I had to change it up. Uh, but you know, here we are. So our water's way too hot. It's about 125 degrees. So I'm gonna stick an ice cube in there just to try to cool it down. I'm gonna use a spoon to take it out if it starts dropping too quickly. See, I am making bao buns. They're gonna be, but they're not gonna be like sandwiches. They're just gonna be filled with chicken, and they're gonna be stuffed buns. That's all. Ooh, how are you not sure what I'm gonna? Is that why when I asked you if you wanted to take these for lunch tomorrow, you're like, oh, I don't know. Is it because you didn't know what I was making? Oh, Lord. Anyway, while our water's cooling down, let's start measuring out our other shit. So, we're gonna measure out 580 grams of all-purpose flour. It's, but we're gonna do it in a different bowl, and you'll see why in a minute. Because in that stand mixer bowl, I'm gonna add the cooled water, the yeast, and the sugar. I'm gonna stir. I'm gonna let that sit for about 10 minutes. Um, so yeah. Water temperature of the water's dropping, and then once we get our yeast and sugar into the water, and I measure this out, it's gonna sit in the stand mixer bowl for 10 minutes to become frothy, and slowly we're gonna add this flour into our yeast mixture. Um, we're then gonna, you know, mix it until it forms a nice ball of dough, and then we let it proof for an hour, just like you do almost any dough. So let's measure this out. What did I say? 590 grams, right? 580 grams. Today is T-Lux's birthday. One of my oldest and best friends. It is his birthday today. If you are watching, happy birthday. If you're not watching, well, I already told you happy birthday earlier, so we're fine. Uh, More or less every year. No, he is not 30. If he was 30, we'd be doing something a little bigger. I probably would either be streaming, like making a birthday cake for him or a special dinner for him or something, and he'd be on stream, or I wouldn't be having a stream and we'd be out, you know, the two of us doing something. All right, so we got our flour. Water temperature's coming down. I'm gonna add another ice cube just to. Which it's, you know, you don't want to add too much ice because then you're gonna mess with the water sugar yeast ratio. after I get it to the temperature, I'm going to re-measure my water just so I can make sure that it's not too much water. Exciting stuff, I know. I don't know how this got so hot so quickly. It was on the stove for like a minute, 2 minutes, and it got twice as hot as we needed. Maybe not twice as hot, but you get the idea. It's bullshit. I have a teaspoon over here, something. Here we go. Might as well add our sugar now. So we need 8 grams of sugar. Okay, 8 grams of sugar. We need 6 grams of yeast. Dry active yeast. Oh, did he mention how much he loves Jerry? Because when I was in his stream like last week or so, he was very adamant about how much he loved Jerry and how cute he thinks he is. I don't know. I don't know why he would mention Jerry to you guys, but you know, on the off chance he just brings it up. I think that would be pretty fun. I'm also going to hit this with just a tiny pinch of salt. Yeah, where'd you guys see him? You just happened to stumble upon his stream, or someone recommended, or someone that you were watching do a raid? How did that go? I'm excited to make these buns. Water's almost there. I know this is pretty fucking boring, but that's what happens when you fuck up. You kind of have to, you know, course correct. Well, that was a series of raids. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay, I think we're fine with the temperature we're at. That seems lukewarm to me. And we're gonna go for 355 milliliters. It shouldn't be much more than this. Or much less, I should say. There we go. Alright, hey, listen, whatever he was doing, I'm sure it was great. Um, okay, and we need 5 grams of dry active yeast. There was no way that was a full bag.
Well, I started it when I got home from work today.
The full bag?
You opened it today.
You ate an entire bag?
Don't shame me.
You're right.
I'm not
It's your
particularly
prerogative.
proud of myself right now.
We're just gonna give this a quick whisk to dissolve.
I'm tired.
I'm not gonna vigorously whisk, because I don't want to fuck up the yeast, but I just need to make sure that the yeast and the sugar are nicely dissolved in the water. Okay. Is that why you didn't want to? Is that why you didn't want to be on stream today? Is because you were too busy eating a bag of pirates booty? You were ashamed. And listen, there's no need to be ashamed. All right. In the interest of honesty and in solidarity for Lauren's food binge, I will tell my own. I had cinnamon rolls today, and they had 3 of them. And that was a lot, because they were like the big ones. There's one in the fridge still. I saved one for Lauren so she can have one. But I did eat 3 of them. And I'm not particularly proud of myself. But here we are. So. Alright. So we had to let this yeast mixture sit for 10 minutes. So I've just secured it into our stand mixer. I got a timer going. We're in business. What we can start to do, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but we can start to get our chicken together. So the way we're going to do this, normally it's like ground pork or ground meat is the easiest. What we're going to do is we're going to cook a whole chicken breast, and we're going to dice it really small, and then we're going to cook it, continue to cook it and season it after it's cooked with things like Chinese 5-spice, which I have to, you know what, maybe we could do that. I don't have Chinese 5-spice, and I went to 2 grocery stores looking for it, and I could not find it. So we got to make our own. Chinese 5-spice is made up of 5 different ingredients, and that's star anise, cinnamon, Szechuan peppercorn, allspice, and then cloves. Now I don't have clove, so I'm going to use a little bit of black pepper and a little bit of salt to kind of balance it out, but I do have the other stuff, so we're going to kind of make our own. You know, sometimes you gotta improvise. I don't know any of the proper ratios. What I do know is that the star anise is the most dominant flavor, So we're gonna use that the most. But I'm not gonna go crazy because star anise is a pretty strong flavor. So I'm gonna go lighter on the anise, and I'm also not gonna add too much allspice. Ellie, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, anise is a pretty particular flavor. I'm not even sure if Lauren likes it too much. It's that it's almost like a licorice kind of flavor. So I have anise seeds that I'm gonna grind down, along with some Szechuan pepper. Now, normally these are whole peppers, but it has a mill, so I don't have to worry. Makes it far easier. We'll do a little bit of allspice. Honestly, I think it might be the allspices you don't like. Just a touch of allspice. We're gonna hit it with some cinnamon. A little black pepper. And for good measure, just a little bit of salt. Oh yeah, I'm glad you are doing fine. That makes me happy. So what'd you guys do over the weekend? What happened, you know? What did, any big plans? Who did what, you know? You know, my sister bought me a mortar and pestle for Christmas, and I kind of wanted one, but I didn't really know what I would use it for. And I'm kind of happy that she got it for me, because now, you know, muddling stuff when we're making drinks and making our own seasonings and stuff, it's kind of come in handy. Now you work most weekends, that kind of sucks. Are you off? Lauren used to have a job as a zookeeper, and she would work, what was it, Wednesday through Sunday, and she was off Mondays and Tuesdays, if I remember correctly. So that sucked for her. So I get it. We are making chicken filled bao, and bao is basically just a steamed. It's like a steamed bun. It's like almost like a think like dumpling. Oh, what kind of nurse are you? Sometimes the material of the mortar and pestle grind in a way that like it gives me those like, fucking spine shivers. Ugh, I can't handle it. Ugh. No, but what floor are you on? Are you med-surg, maternity, neuro, ICU, ER? I just kind of assume everybody who's a nurse is a registered nurse. I don't know many LPNs. Most people I know who are nurses are RNs. But that's me personally. You know, I'm sure if you ask other people, they, might know different people. Oh, oh god, that one hit hard. Whew. You work for Mister. Listen. I don't need this from you. You work for memory care. Interesting. So you do similar to what I used to do, at least in the same area of medicine. I'm sure the job tasks didn't overlap too much. But I used to work, I used to manage clinical trials specifically for Alzheimer's disease. So almost all of my patients, I had other trials as well, but most of my patients were Alzheimer's patients. Whoa, that was. I mean, it's like a little funny. It's a little funny. I really enjoyed managing clinical trials. Well, fine then. Um, yeah, I managed. I had trials in a bunch of different fields. Um, Alzheimer's, OCD. I was a certified neuropsychological rater for Alzheimer's, bipolar depression. Then I moved into mostly IBD. Right now, with all the policies changing for facilities, it's hard for all the CNAs. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure CNAs are not happy at the moment. Yeah. Listen, not everybody's used to different responsibilities and tasks, so it is what it is. We have another 10 seconds or so on our yeast mixture. It's kind of sitting over there getting nice and foamy. I'm going to move this homemade Chinese 5-spice to the side. It's not really 5-spice, it's technically, I guess technically 5, but it's not the proper 5. Shut up. Okay, let's fucking do this. So I'm gonna grab a dough hook. And if Lauren was next to me, I know she would do a Homer Simpson dough. And honestly, I kind of miss it. Now that she's not doing it, I kind of wish she did. You can see how this got nice and foamy, which is really nice. And that's exactly what we want to see when we start to activate our yeast. So this is just a water, yeast, and sugar mixture. And I also added just a tiny pinch of salt. You can't see anything when I do that. Oh, no, that's not any better. Guys, I'm not good at streaming. Alright, well, that's going to have to do. And we're going to add our yeast slowly. I said yeast, but I meant flour. We're going to mix this on low. And we're going to do about half a cup at a time until all of our flour is done and incorporated. And then we're just going to let it mix for like 10 minutes. The reason why I stop it is because I don't want flour going everywhere. But that's kind of inevitable. It's gonna happen anyway. I've already gotten flour all over. It's kind of I don't know why nobody has invented a a bowl. I'm sure they do exist, but I don't know why the standard bowl doesn't have like a chute, like something that like projects out from it, where you could just slide material down into the bowl. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why is this the default? I'm gonna get shit everywhere. I should invent it. Ellie's 100% right. I should be. You know what? Fuck it. That's my idea. I'm gonna just fucking claiming ownership over that one right now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like design something with all the free time I have. But I'm sure I could sketch something up pretty quickly. It'd be a bad sketch. I'm not good at art or drawing, but it'd be a sketch nonetheless. And I'm gonna scrape down the sides real quick, because you can kind of see how some of it's sticking to the side of the bowl, and we need to be careful of that. So yeah, we pretty soon we're gonna get going on our chicken. And once our chicken is done, it's honestly just a matter of waiting for the dough to finish proofing, and then you guys get to watch. You get to watch me not fold these correctly. So that'll be fun for everybody who's not Nick. Thank you, Ellie. Fucking someone who gets it. Alright. So let's get this all mixed together. I may have to add a little bit of water just to oh, there she is. I may have to add a little bit of water to, it might be a little dry. Oh shit, here she comes. Oh shit.
I was just talking to a little M stream and someone needed help figuring out what to get their girlfriend a gift for her birthday. So I was like, Nick got me a picture of the night sky for my first date and the time and place we met, and I was like, it's one of my favorite gifts. It's really nice. I was like, and I'm like, here's a donut. I'm like the worst at giving gifts. Yours are always so thoughtful.
I don't want to say Lauren's the worst at giving gifts. She gives me gifts that I like, which is food. And she gives me some really other good gifts.
Like what? Nick's always like, oh, if you need to give me a gift, here's an idea. And then 3 days later, he's like, oh, I just bought it myself. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah, sometimes I do.
A lot of times.
Okay. What is this, a fucking character assassination? Is this what you came out here for?
Give me what you can.
I can handle food. Like, that's for sure.
I'm trying to think of some of the other good gifts that
I gave you or you gave me?
both. But I'm like, I can barely even type right now.
I know. One of the gifts I got Lauren was a necklace that had a piece of meteorite on it.
Because I'm a nerd.
Lauren,
obviously.
she's a science nerd if you can't tell. I got her. she loves animals, so I made a donation in her name to the Wildlife Foundation, World Wildlife Foundation, to help support and preserve three-toed sloths, an animal that she really likes. I did some other shit. I don't know. After a while, everything starts to blur.
What did I ever give you? That's a great question.
Ooh, she got me. This is gonna sound weird, but it was honestly probably one of my favorite gifts. A really nice chopstick set for the two of us, which I love.
I got you your meat tenderizer.
She got me a meat tenderizer, so whenever I beat my meat, I think of her, I guess.
No, so you're not like my mom using the bottom of a glass measuring cup to thin out chicken cutlets. You have one of these.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, I got you playing cards of Yoda playing cards.
I'm not a Star Wars fan, but
we loved Baby Yoda.
We loved Baby Yoda, so
but
it
it's not
sense.
Baby Yoda cards. It's old Yoda cards.
It's the OG Yoda, so I didn't understand it at first.
Games. I don't know. You buy everything yourself.
I'm the worst.
Yeah.
I'm the worst. What did they end up deciding on getting this woman?
Well, it really seems like the girl's parents really just don't like the guy. So I think that's more of the issue. Like, what gift do I give my girlfriend for her birthday when her parents don't approve of the relationship or like me? Like, I don't know if any gift will fix that.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Lauren and I, we already do one podcast, but I was considering a second.
No, we don't have time. You don't have time.
So actually, you guys buy the stuff that you need. Sometimes, I didn't need a chopstick set, but I really like it, and we've used it a bunch. Why are you stepping on my foot?
Sorry, it's nice and squishy.
My foot's nice and squishy? Okay. We were, since Lauren was talking about one of our other friends, and their stream, we do a podcast, and we talk about science and stuff, but, I think it'd be a lot of fun to go and do a podcast where we just kind of read relationship questions that people post on Reddit, like, I don't understand this thing my boyfriend or girlfriend did, or am I the asshole? This, like, how do I don't know, there's some crazy stuff on Reddit that people post, and I think it'd be so much fun to go find a few questions, talk about it, and, and have fun and kind of bullshit about relationships and what works and what doesn't, and our experiences. I think it could be interesting. But what do I know? There's an endless pit to talk about for relationships. Jay Birdie, what's up? See? Fucking Lauren, Ellie's on my side. Alright, let's check this dough. Still a little tacky. I think it needs to mix a little more. Still a little sticky. You can see how it sticks to the side of the bowl. So we'll mix this for a few extra minutes. It said it needed 15 minutes to mix. So Bao or Baozi is like think of like a steamed dumpling that's filled with meat. So we're gonna take almost like a dumpling. It's gonna be stuffed with meat, and then we're gonna seal it and steam it. Like I said, they're very similar to dumplings. So we're just making our dough. But yes, it's just like that. It's steamed bread, and it's filled with meat. Very very similar. So we're just making our dough. But I really think that kind of podcast can be interesting, especially if you get people with different relationship views or people who have been in different relationships. Like obviously everyone's in a different relationship, but who have different relationship experience. Like me, for example, I can't wait to see how the dough comes out either kitchen or I just I never know if people are okay with me calling them by their first names, which is why I don't. But if you're cool with it, I will. If you're not, I won't. And you used my first name, and I want my first name used, but I don't know how you feel about it. Anyway, that's you know. Lauren has not been in as long of a relationship. Thank you, Jay. Lauren's never been in as long of a relationship as I have, so we have different views, especially at the same age. I was in a relationship. It was 6 years from age 18 to 24. Which what 18-year-old guy is in a relationship for 6 years? See, that's why I ask. I don't like to assume what people want to be called and stuff. That's why every time someone follows or pops in the stream or whatever, I always let them know, like, hey, make sure I'm saying your name properly, because names are important. Let's check this dough. A little less tacky. I would say probably did not mean to hit it that high. I would say probably not 2 to 4 minutes for this dough. So yeah, we use our first names frequently. So even if you're like, oh, just now science, if you go and listen to just one of our podcast episodes, you'll know our names. Like, it's not a secret. If you go on our website, our name is there. If you look in our About Us on Twitch, our name is there. Like, there's no hiding it. So I just kind of lean into it and use my first name. And honestly, if you look at any of our podcast stuff, you can figure out my last name too. It's not hard. I have the same thing as Mister. I don't know if it's a guy thing or a sports thing. I know like Lauren has similar experiences where people, at least on sports teams, didn't call each other by their first names. It was usually your last name, and that's really common with guys. My entire life, I was Volpe. That's just like that's what they called me. Jay, I don't know your full name like that, but if you don't like it, then I will not use it, which is fine because I don't know it. There are also a million people. Yes, there are a ton of people with my name. I can. Wow, why do you despise that? I mean, it's not for me to ask. If you don't like it, that's I don't need a. You don't need to answer why you don't like it. That was a silly question. Um, Kitchen likes the kitchen nickname. Okay, yeah, like I said, that's this is why I asked. I can learn. Um, hey Lauren, I need my charger. Yeah, I kind of forgot it again. I think your name is very nice, but again, it's not for me to like. It's for you to like. This is still pretty tacky dough. So we're gonna. Like, it should not be this tacky. It shouldn't be sticking to my fingers like this. So we're gonna continue to. I thought you shot something at me. We're gonna continue to knead this dough until it doesn't stick to my fingers.
But we need this dough.
Like, it should not be sticking to my fingers like this. So.
Sir, please help me.
Lauren is currently trying to plug in my laptop charger, and she's fighting our mint plant in the process, which is just fucking perfect. Thank you very much.
This plant's getting.
The mint did win. I mean, I will say this. I'm really bad with names. So, hearing everybody tell me, like, the name like, their names and, like, what they like and what they want to be called and this, I will most likely opt to just call you by the name I see, because I'm really bad with names, and I often feel really bad for my jujitsu students. I see them often, and I still have trouble with their names. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I'm bad with names, and so I often feel for my students especially. I feel really bad because, like, I should know their names. But, you know. I might be able to tell you what they were wearing. If it was, like, distinct, I could tell you. Like, we went to a friend's wedding, and there was a woman who had sex with a man in one of the bathroom stalls. And I can tell you, I know for a fact she was wearing a green dress. Don't know her name, don't know anything else about her, but I know she was wearing a green dress. Not Kitschy Poo? Kind of like Kitschy Poo. Although it sounds like you're trying to be, like, you're trying to tickle someone. You're like, oh, Kitschy Poo. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't like it. Fuck. Yeah, it sounds like you're about to aggressively tickle someone. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I think I kind of have to just deal with this dough however it is. I can't spend all day mixing this. It's pretty smooth. I'm hoping as it proofs, it will it'll not be so tacky. I mean, it looks good. It's just like it's pretty sticky. So like, it definitely shouldn't be that sticky. Oh, Jay, that is great news that you're getting a stove soon. Are you guys allowed to have gas burners, or does everybody use electric in Europe? How's that work? We're actually going to be making the switch from, gas stove. We're making the switch from gas stove to electric, and honestly, not sure how I feel about it just yet. So we're just gonna flour this bad boy. That's what I'm thinking. Kitchen. A little flour. Yeah, I really like gas cooking. I just want to get this excess dough off my hands before I start working. I hope you guys are ready. You're about to see the master of dough working. I hope you guys are ready for this masterclass on dough kneading. Yeah, it's much more workable. You can see none of it's elastic, and it's kind of bouncing back. When I stick my finger in it, that hole starts to close up, but not fully, which is good. It's what we want, because we're gonna have to be able to seal it, and we have to be able to squeeze and seal it. And if it just goes back to its original shape, it won't stay closed. Yeah, this is much more workable. So we're gonna flour this one more time. I'm actually going to wipe away a lot of this flour now that it's kind of workable, because I need it to stick just a tiny bit to the counter so that I can form a top ball. Ellie, enjoy the rest of your night. I hope your shift is smooth and easy. I'm just trying to fold it in on itself a little to help get the top smooth and Elizabeth out. I really do love that. Please never stop doing that. Coastal Baseline, what up? How you doing? And to answer Jay's question about what happens if the dough gets too dry, if it's too dry, it won't have that elasticity. So yeah, it could be kind of crumbly, and it could be kind of like it won't seal properly either. So in this case, you won't get a proper steam, and it won't rise the same way. So we want to avoid that. I would say it's not the smoothest in the world, but it's pretty smooth. It's smooth enough. I'm glad you're doing well. That makes me very happy to hear. I'm gonna rinse out this bowl, and then we're gonna lightly grease it and put our. No, this is we literally just actually finished making the dough. I just kind of rolled it into a top ball. We have to proof it for like an hour. I'm gonna start making the chicken once I get this going. So you haven't missed much, truthfully, even though I've been streaming for an hour. How have I taken this much time to do something so simple? I don't know. So I'm just rinsing out this bowl real quick, because I need to use it. Sorry for all the clanging that you probably hear. Okay. So, can I tell you guys what my next series of YouTube videos is going to be about? I kind of just decided this last night, and I ran it by Lauren, and she said she thinks it could be okay. And I'm excited to do it. I think it'll be fun for me, and the more fun it is for me, I think the more you guys will enjoy it, because you'll reap the benefits of like better content. So the plan is just like putting just a touch, just a tiny touch of oil in a bowl. And then we're just going to get a paper towel and we are going to grease up this bowl. Okay. I let it sit on the counter too long. I'm kind of stuck. I'll go back to rolling this real quick just to try to get it to be a smooth ball. There we go. Relatively smooth on the bottom. Pop that right in. I'm gonna wet this rag. It just needs to be damp. It doesn't need to be soaked. So, oh, Mister with the 100 bits. We got them those big old biddies. Mister dropping those those tig old biddies. Oh man. I said tig old biddies. I thought it was pretty funny. If I'm being honest, I was very pleased with myself. Alright, so anyway, see, Lauren, everybody's on my side. So anyway, like I was saying, my next set of YouTube videos, I think it could be fun to, I'm going to do a playthrough, a blind playthrough, I've never played it before, of one of the Pokemon games. And I'm going to make it challenging in a couple of ways. One of the ways is, like, there's a couple of rules, it's like self-imposed rules, but you have to nickname every single one of your characters to help forge an emotional bond with them. And then if they die, they're dead forever. And while I go and do this playthrough, I'm going to be talking about the science and biology behind some of these Pokemon. Like, how do they do their attacks and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I think that could be, I mean, it's fun for me, I think. Nicholas the Ridiculous. Yeah. That's not new. I've been getting that for years. Like, that's not a new nickname or, you know, play on my name. Nick the Dick, Nick the Prick, Nicholas the Ridiculous. Nothing new. Kitchen, do you is one of the reasons you're with Mister is all the puns he makes, or like did you not know that was a thing, and by the time you realized it was too late? Just wondering. Nicholas the Ridiculous is not my Viking name. Got flour. She said, but she's aware of the risks. I'll ask her myself when she comes back. Warren, this doesn't concern you. Read the chat if you want to know. What about Jerry? Where is he? Where is that?
He's coming with my loyal
Come here.
kids.
Come here. You're getting picked up. I don't care if you don't like it.
He does like it now. Well, show him if you want to see him, not you.
It looks like he has a black eye. Like you can't
Jerry,
even see it.
open your eyes, please. Jerry's getting a little grooming tomorrow or Thursday.
He's grunting pretty hard. He's like a little baby lamb at the moment.
Oh, your breath is stinking.
You know, you give him a dentist stick?
He's kicking. Yeah, when we come back.
Okay. When Lauren comes back from his walk, he'll get a treat.
I have to go on a drive. So ridiculous. Come on,
I was planning on. I went to the store earlier. But when I had originally planned on going, Jerry said, "Oh no, I'm coming with you. Like I'm getting in the car too." And he was so like his little heart. He was so excited to go in the car, and I couldn't tell him no. I couldn't break him like that.
What, he came down the stairs?
Yeah, came down the stairs and he was so excited. He was,
Aww.
And I couldn't tell him no. So we went on a car ride together.
Next week.
Not very weak. He didn't go with me to the store. We just went for a drive. But yeah. I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Warren. I think there's poop in my car.
That's great.
I think I left the bag in there.
Oh my god.
Can you please get it? Hey. Okay. No, not when you come back. Get it now. I don't care. Get it out. I think it's in the back seat. No. Okay. So one of the problems that we've run into is that Jerry doesn't want to walk in our neighborhood anymore. And we've said this before, we've talked about it. So we have to take him elsewhere. The problem with that is that if he goes to the bathroom and we're not at a park or somewhere where there's clear or obvious garbage cans for us to dispose of it, we have to take it back with us and throw it out in our trash. So I did that this afternoon, like 3 o'clock. It's 5 hours ago. It was 95 degrees today in New York. And I think I left it in my car. And oh boy. 5 hours of that poop sitting in the hot oven of a car. Oh god, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. Yeah, I don't